Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it's my privilege to introduce our speaker today. She is a down-to-earth expert in leading rejuvenation projects in communities like Bennettsville all across this country. She is co-founder of Save Your Town and is here, SaveYour.Town, and is here this week under the auspices of the Bennettsville Bicentennial Committee. She hails from Iowa, where it's cold like this all the time. And she grew up in a town of 141 people. She's walked around our downtown and ridden around our town since arriving here yesterday morning. She will continue meeting with local folk, and we're invited to join her tonight and here at 5:30 p.m. Thursday at the Sky, when she will facilitate a public idea exchange with the Bicentennial Committee. She will leave Bennettsville on Friday. So please join me in giving a warm Rotary welcome to our speaker, Dale Brown.
First of all, I want to say thank you for the buckets that you put on the table. My father died from Alzheimer's, and I know the struggle it is, and I know how important each dollar matters. In fact, they just found a drug that reverses Alzheimer's in mice, and it's your contributions that make a difference, that help the continued research. So give yourself a big round of applause. Now when you came in, you may have noticed I was sitting over there. How many noticed? I had people come up to me and say, no, you're supposed to sit over there. What are you doing over there? You need to be over there. And that's kind of how change is. When things happen in a community, everybody gets up in arms. That's not how we do it. It's different. And you find yourself in a community like this that's beautiful. Oh my goodness. The homes, the buildings, the people. It's a wonderful community. Yet we have way too many empty buildings downtown. I think we counted 20. Does that sound right? A lot. Let's just say a lot. And change is the only constant that we have in life. So look forward to some change in this community. Embrace it. It's coming. I've met with lots of leaders in the community already, and people are primed for change. They're ready. You know, you can fill those empty buildings. Everybody looks like, really? You think so? In fact, I know so, because I've helped do it myself. And I know how easy it is to do it. It's a lot easier than what you think. One of the things that I encourage Rotarians to do is spend a little time downtown and thank the shop owners that are already here. That's important. They count on you not just to shop there, but to also recognize them and thank them. And if you can't come downtown and do it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Thank the people that are in your town. That's extremely important. You can send them a card. Now let's talk about ninjas. By the way, I'm going to ask you guys some questions too, so I'm not going to do all the talking up here. The group that I've met with, the people I've met with have heard me talk about ninjas, and I'm thinking weed whackers and Windex kind of ninjas. So while there are, you might hear somebody say, you know, their windows are really dirty. They need to clean up those windows in that empty building over there. It's disgusting. They need to sweep the sidewalk. Well, why don't you just grab a couple of people, shoot over there at 5 o'clock in the morning, clean the windows yourself. Sweep the sidewalk. Be a ninja. And if it's an open business, leave them a note. But don't say, you know, we did your work for you. Start cleaning your own windows. Don't say that. Thank them for being in business, because they don't even see their dirty windows. Just like us. They get up, they drive to work, they park the car, they walk inside. They don't even see dirty windows or weeds or streets that need to be swept. But you do. And you can make a difference in your own community by taking small steps. And that indeed is a small step. That's a good thing. Now let's talk a little bit about possibility. Maybe I should tell you what I do, huh? I'm Deb Brown, grew up in Iowa. I am co-founder of a company called SaveYour.Town. My collaborating partner is in Alba, Oklahoma. which is, I think, 5,000 people, not very big. And she's actually from Hopeton, which is just down the road, and they have 31 people. And every month we do a webinar on different things that small towns can do to improve their community and their businesses. And then each of us speak, and we come and do things like this. This event for me is an embedded community experience. So I don't want to ever go into a town and say, here's a template, lay this over what you do, and follow the rules. Because that doesn't work. I'm not from your town. I don't know your people. You know your people. You know what kind of businesses you can have here. You know what kind of small steps you can have here. What I do is just talk about it and share stories of other communities that are doing some cool things. And look at, we did a walk around this morning and just talked about some of the buildings and got some information, made a few suggestions. It was wonderful. The group that came with us, everybody had more ideas than I did, because that's how it's supposed to work. You are responsible for your community. I'm just here to kind of guide you and help you a little bit and share some stories. Who has questions? Come on. Because I'm not going to keep talking.
Yeah, tell them about last night's event and some of the thoughts that came out of it.
So last night they put together an invitation to newcomers in the community. I thought we'd see maybe 10 people. The room was full. There were at least 50 people in that room. 50 newcomers in the community. Now there was one lady there who I don't think was that new of a newcomer, but she had an agenda and she had some things to complain about. And that's expected in every community. Somebody's always complaining about something. But what I noticed when we were answering her questions and telling her Ron shared some of the things that are actually going on in the county, and we talked about what's happening. What I noticed is the newcomers in the room were all like, let's get on with this. We don't need to hear any whining. We want to help in this community. We spent good money to buy properties in your town. We now live here. We chose to live here. I get goosebumps thinking about it because that's a big deal. Frankly, that's how your town started. Somebody chose to stop here and build a town. And they invited their family members and they invited their friends, and that's how your community will continue to grow. By inviting people in to do business here, to buy houses, to shop here, to support your local businesses. And I'm hoping that all of you welcome newcomers with open arms. I am so preaching, aren't I? I'm sorry, that's Eddie's job, not mine. But I really believe in that. I think we need to embrace our newcomers. And last night, they had some brilliant ideas. There's a group of ninjas in Clio, I want to call it Clio, that decided one day they were going to clean up their town. There were 5 of them in the front row. And they just started cleaning up their town. That's all. They just went about, they mowed some yards, they swept some sidewalks, and that's what they're working on. Because that's the kind of town they want to live in. So what kind of town do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a town with empty buildings? Nobody in the room is saying yes. Because you don't. You have amazing buildings here. Amazing. With low prices. Yes, I'm a Yankee. I'm from up north. I lived in Chicago for 30 years as well, where my kids are at. You have no idea how cheap your buildings are. And the market that we saw last night, the new people, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, Virginia, they were from those northeast states. So some encouragement, I would encourage all of you to work together. I love when I get phone calls while I'm talking. Encourage all of you to work together and reach out to more newcomers. Talk to the people that moved here. Go talk to those people from Massachusetts and say, how do we get in touch with other people in your area? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Start that process. Find out the local papers where you could advertise. One guy told me he found his house at oldhouses.com. Oldhouses.com. I would do a Google search for old buildings. Who's selling old buildings? Because you can be on that site. You have beautiful old buildings. Some of them need work. But every building that was built in the late 1800s, early 1900s needs work. And fortunately, I've been in towns where no work has been done. And it's scary. It's too many roofless buildings because the owners have not kept the building up. That's not the case here. You have a few like that, but overall, that is not the case here. So, Mason, I'll start with you. Tell me what you do.
I'm an attorney.
Oh, geez, maybe I won't start with you. Where's your office?
Block down the road.
It was
So-
that pretty Victorian house you commented on today that looked so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know where your office is. Thank you for putting it in a location within the downtown community mostly, and for taking such valid care of it. Thank you. How many attorneys do you have working with you?
Yeah, well, that thanks goes to my boss, just one other.
Well, you be sure to share that information,
I will.
that I called him out, or her, him, out publicly. And ask him if he'd start working on expanding. Because he's number 3.
We are.
You're the boss?
Loaded question. He's the office manager?
You make the
He's
show
a
run.
stranger?
No, not really. But no, we have, and I think it's okay to say, the firm has purchased the building behind our office, and we're in the process right now renovating.
Did you all know that?
It's
Raise your hands if you did not. Look around you.
It's going to be the Jennings Law Annex.
So this is a great story that you all need to be sharing with other businesses and other leaders like yourself in the community. You have to tell your stories. You have to share these kind of things. Don't expect people to know them. And if 10 hands in this room didn't know, how many in the community didn't know? That someone local is putting money into their business to expand. That's a big deal. That's what your DBBA, did I get it?
No.
BDDA, see, downtown development, that's part of their job, is to tell the story as well. The same with the chamber, to share, I'm assuming they're chamber members, right? Yeah, good. To share their stories. But you guys need to help too. And a quick shout out, that's all it takes, somewhere, whatever place you are in line or in the local paper, or just to your friends. Fire chief, incoming fire chief. Have you been over to their office yet? Have you met him? Take some time to go meet him. And vice versa. Have you guys been to the fire station lately?
I'm not.
Those of you with kids, let me tell you a great idea. Bring your kids to the fire station. Oh my God, they love it. Just bring them to the fire station. You'll show them around, right? And that's what, it's a community service. So we have to start to train our children as well to know what's available in our community. This is exactly what this is a backroom tour, where you're sharing with each other what you have in your buildings. I had the pleasure of being at one of the 4 brothers. I remember Bobby, I don't know if I ever knew your name. Donald. At the print shop today, or at the shop, at his shop today. Have you ever been in his back room? How many have not been in his back room? Please raise your hand.
Did you say bathroom or back room?
Back room.
Charlie's room, right?
Charlie's room, the 5th brother. So, ask him to show you what's back there. Oh my God, the printing machines are amazing, the old printers. But what's even cooler, he can pull out a drawer and show you old logos from businesses from way back when that they use for printing. Go take a look at it. Think about what you could do with those things to celebrate your bicentennial. I know that bicentennial committee will come up with an idea, and maybe y'all will help them. Let's see, Reverend. How long have you been in town?
Going on 9 years.
Oh, I want this youngster. You I'll get later. Do I call you Reverend, Pastor? What's your preference?
I'm a chiropractor.
Well, Jesus. Good job. Would you stand up? How long have you been in town?
Be 2 years, March 2nd, or
Where-
May 2nd,
Where'd you come from?
Australia.
You lost that accent pretty quick.
My dad was in the military at Trumbull, but I was in Australia for a couple years before here.
So why here?
That's where the job was.
So are you working for yourself or with someone?
I'm working for somebody.
And how'd you find that job?
Probably from the South Carolina Chiropractic Association. I'm not quite sure.
So thank you very much, and thank you for being here and being part of the community. So think about those different associations that you guys are involved with. Everybody's involved with an association somewhere if you're in business. Think about them. How can you reach out to them and let them know that there are buildings here for new businesses, that there may even be jobs here for professionals. You have to start. People are not going to come to you. You have to go to them. His chiropractor boss had something in the Chiropractor Association. He had to go to them to post that information. And it's really mostly just a phone call or an email, because they want to share your availabilities as well. Okay, who else am I going to pick on? This lovely blonde in the back. Would you stand up and share us who you are?
Ann Stubbs, I'm a local realtor.
A local realtor.
Yes, and I'm on a small office here.
And you what?
On a small office here in town.
Okay, so what kind of properties do you work with?
Mostly foreclosures.
Mostly foreclosed, but homes, residential.
Yes.
How's that going?
Pretty good. There's a lot of foreclosures.
So who's buying them?
Investors.
Investors, and then what do they do with them?
Either flip or rent.
Okay, so where do these investors come from?
Usually off the internet. Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com.
So not locally.
No.
They're coming. So who do they get to do the flip? Are they hiring local?
They do sometimes. But usually if I put something, foreclosures are pretty reasonable. If I put something on the web, it gets calls from Texas, New York came through a while ago, and it's just a ongoing, just property prices are, like you said, good. So
Do you do commercial?
I have, yeah. I don't have anything currently, but I have.
So you see do you see where I'm going with this?
Buildings, yes.
Yeah, what could you do with the buildings that people might want to sell? There's another idea too. And we talked about, thank you, Ann, I appreciate it. We talked about an empty buildings tour, which is really pretty simple. You just bring in the owners of the realtors, open it up, have somebody come in and tell you what was there before, serve wine and cheese, make it a nice wine walk, right? Have some fun with it, and open it up for everybody to see. But not just local. You want to reach outside of your community. You want to talk to those newcomers we met with last night and have them invite all their friends to come down and stay with them for the weekend and go on the walk. You want to make a big deal out of it. Don't hide your empty buildings, show them. Let people know you have them here. And it costs nothing to do that, by the way. Well, maybe the wine and cheese. But it doesn't cost a lot to have an empty building tour. We did it in Webster City. I'm very familiar with how it works. Natchez, Mississippi has done it. Lisbon, Portugal took our idea and did it. I have literally seen it done around the world to great success. In fact, Natchez does it every year. They don't just do it once. And they do both residential and downtown businesses. And my community is talking about doing an industrial tour because we have some industrial places available. Make a big deal out of it. Make it a party and have some fun. And then keep talking about it. That's important. I'm watching my time for you so you don't get stuck here. You in the lovely green vest. Stand up for me, would you? Yeah, it's you. Tell me your name and what you do.
My name's Dan, and I'm the newspaper editor.
Newspaper editor. So what do you do? What does an editor do?
I sit at a computer and stare at it all day. And whatever my boss tells me.
You're married to your boss, right?
I am.
Oh my, you poor thing. So an editor actually helps decide what articles go in the paper?
Pretty much.
Do you accept articles from
Oh, yeah.
anybody in the community?
Oh, most definitely. That's probably 75% of our newspaper.
So if this young chiropractor over here wrote an article on preserving your muscles or energy or why chiropractic service is good, would you consider it?
Certainly.
You heard it, right? If the attorney wrote about, what kind of law do you practice?
Small town law, anything.
Everything. So if he wrote about maybe the law about what it takes to buy a building and start a business. Because there are laws for starting a business. Perhaps you could write an article about that. Would you accept it?
Sure.
You guys are listening, right? This is important for you to represent your community. You have a local paper that runs twice a week. Do you know how unusual that is? And they, just like you can use their support, they can use your support. Are you online yet?
Yeah.
So what's a subscription to an online?
Actually, let's not even go there.
So they're very online.
At the moment, it's real cheap, like free.
But they know, they're already online, they know that's the way of the future. Because while I love reading my local paper, in another 20 years, people won't read local papers, because we'll all be dead, those of us that still read our paper. But they'll be online. They will meet the need where they need to be. Now maybe they need to, I'm hoping you sell advertisements online, and that's where you're making your money there.
We try. We have a little success.
Hire somebody. Get a kid right out of school. Seriously, hire somebody. It'll be worth every penny you spend on that person. And then let them train you on how to do it. I know.
I
I'm
think
telling them this.
somebody becomes a challenge, but I think that would be one thing that all of the business owners here would say, finding people that are willing to go do something.
So you call Terry Christensen at the Messenger in Fort Dodge, Iowa. He hires young kids right out of school to come work as reporters. You call Terry, tell him Deb told you to call,
All right.
and ask him how he does it. That's building a connection. Did you see that? This is what you all can do with each other, is build your connections. Use your resources better. Start talking, you can sit down, thank you very much. Start talking about what's possible if you work together. I see you nodding. Stand on up, sir. What's your name?
West Park.
And what do you do, sir?
Little bit of everything.
So I know he's involved with an amazing B&B, just saying.
Right.
And you're a CPA?
CPA, right.
Are you still practicing CPA?
I am.
Are you looking to retire?
At some point in time, sure.
So, well, no, I asked this for a reason. Do you have a succession plan in place?
I don't know who that might be, so.
Well, the Small Business Development Center, the SBDC, who is underneath the SBA, are very much concentrating on, you can sit down, concentrating on succession plans, because the majority of our businesses are now in this age range. And people are thinking about, frankly, we should have done it 10 or 15 years ago, to start getting somebody in the office and train them to hopefully have them take over your business. That's one solution. But they offer many other solutions, and guess what? Your tax dollars pay for them. And they create programs for free. They'll come and talk to you about succession planning and give you ideas and and give you referrals to other companies in the state that you can spend a little more money with and get more in-depth on it. But you got to start somewhere. So I'm looking at all you that are under 40 in this room. Start thinking about succession planning now. Do we have anybody? Pretty. So let's go under 50 in this room. Start thinking about long-range succession planning. The rest of you get together and talk, and start to think about how succession planning would work in your community. It's very important. Those are city people. We'll talk to them tomorrow. Sir, in the black jacket, would you stand up for me? What is your name?
John Judge,
John? And what do you do?
surveyor.
I wish I could hear you. I'm hard of hearing.
Surveyor.
Surveyor. Oh my goodness. That's a business that's not filling in quick enough. We see Yeah, you can't hear any better either, right? I feel good, thank you. So, particularly in the north, and I've got to assume it's the same in the south, you're about the average age of a surveyor, right? Yeah, and those jobs are not being filled in quick enough. So if you have kids in school, that's an awesome job, by the way. They usually set their own schedule and set their own pace and determine how much money they make. So surveying is a real opportunity in our state, in our United States. And talk to John about what he does all day. You wander around fields with boots on, right?
I do.
What do you do all day?
What I do all day? Work.
Work. But I mean, you put your boots on and you're walking around fields and you're looking for corner posts and having some fun, right? Do you do a little fishing while you're out there? Do you do a little fishing while you're out there? No. Well, we'll have to talk later. Thank you, John. All right. Let's end with the guy in the kind of grapish colored shirt. That'd be you. What is your name?
John Powers.
John Powers. And what do you do, sir?
I work for the utility company, electric utility.
Okay, come up here a minute. Seriously. So you work for the local utility company?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to switch places. You come stand right here. Talk to me about the utilities' role in opening a new business in this community.
We work with them incentives and rates.
Oh, stop. The first word was incentives.
Yes.
Explain what those are.
Incentives or payments or credits on your bill for electric rates.
So what's it cost to get electricity?
Depends on,
If you're new, if you're just moving into town,
depends on,
what is your business?
depends on infrastructure, what's needed for a business, or if it's a house, it might be different.
Are you looking at my credit? Does that matter?
Yes.
Okay, well, these are things to know. The reason I bring this up is some conversations with city people that there is incentives to have lower electric startup cost. I don't want to say lower electric cost, but definitely the startup cost. So if you're starting a business, go talk to this guy. His last name is Powers, got it? Go talk to him to find out how they can work with you to open a new business. It's important. Okay, so we're past incentives. What's next? What do you do? Rates?
Rates, economic development.
So who are you working with on that? What do you mean economic development? What do you do?
You're talking about our company or?
Yes, either way, both.
I mean, we have people that work in economic development and create jobs, bring people to the local areas. More than just what most people think about power.
So I encourage you or someone in your company to write an article for the paper and then share it with everybody in this room as well, so they can share it on and they can share it on. I'm sure your company's in touch with Ron back there and are working together on projects. So the thing with economic development, it's different from the chamber. Often they can't talk about what they're doing. And it looks like they're not doing anything, but that's not true. It's really not true. And until they can talk about it, then they're able to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
I get excited when there's discounts on electricity, because we just don't see that enough. And I just read this morning, South Carolina is leading the nation in the highest electricity cost. But I was informed today that is not what Bennettsville, they don't fit into that. They are lower rates than the state average. So give yourself a hand, because you guys make that possible.
So one other note about John's company, which is Marlboro Electric Co-op. They serve just a small area here in South Carolina, all of Marlboro County and some of Dillon, but not a huge area. But they are the nation's largest co-op supplying industrial power. in the nation.
So how would I know that? How would anybody in this room know that?
Just ask John.
Ask John.
I wouldn't even know to ask John that.
Right.
And I can guarantee you of your 10,000 or so residents, there might be 5 people that know that. These are stories that need to be shared. That truly is a great story. This is what makes your locals proud to live here, because they live in this kind of community. But if you don't tell them, they don't know. So you really have to share that information. And I'm going to end on, last night I met with the celebratory group that's Bennettsville 200th anniversary. And we were talking about a theme that would work for the 200th anniversary, and they came up with Believe in Bennettsville. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the final, but it sounded like it last night. I think all of you should believe in Bennettsville, not just that committee. I think you need to go out and, you know, toot your own horn a little bit. And if you can't toot your own, talk about the attorney, talk about the printer, talk about the new fire chief. Share the stories you've heard. Just today, you can walk out of here with 5 stories in your pocket. Start to share those with your people. Share them with your customers. Share them with your congregation. Share them with your church. Talk about it around the water tower, the water faucet at water cooler at City Hall. If you don't tell the story, they won't know it. And by the way, you are they, so talk to each other as well. Any other questions? We have 5 minutes left, if my clock is right, because I know you run out of here too, right? All Rotaries are the same. Sir, you're kind of quiet. Can you hear me? Do you have any questions? Comments?
You might run me out of town.
You've been here longer than she has.
I really would be interested in what you have to say.
I came here a little over 50 years ago, and we've done all right here. But it's hard for me to encourage somebody to come and take my place.
So let's back up a little bit. You're not from here, right?
No,
So there's another newcomer who's been here a while, but you were a newcomer as well. What kind of work do you do?
general contractor.
Oh, you're right. It's hard to get general contractors. That's a skill that we're not teaching in our schools, or teaching enough in our schools. We've been encouraging children to go to 4-year colleges when the Voc Tech are just as good. We need to do a little more work on creating that opportunity, and I understand there's some stuff going on with that. What you could be, are you retired or are you still working?
Still working.
Oh my God. Because the demand is that much, right? Or you just can't stop working?
Because I want to.
Okay. So you have your own business?
Yes,
Do you have employees?
yes.
So what happens when you do retire?
It very,
I get it. Do you have an idea? Do you have children that would take over once they bury you?
no,
Would your employees be interested in doing that?
no.
Which, burying him or?
No, taking over. So I could go on with this conversation for a long time. I'm willing to bet that someone in this room knows somebody that would like to come work with you and maybe talk to you about succession planning and being a part of the future after you leave us. Somewhere in the state, there is somebody, and they need someone exactly like you to teach them how to do things right. Because they're not learning it where they need to. Thank you very much. And that should wrap it up. Thank you.
Deb, you've only been here, I guess, for a day and a half, but it's pretty clear that you have a
good finger on the pulse of this community, very keen sense of observation. We hope you enjoy the rest of your time here this week, and we look forward for any ideas you can share with us to help this community grow, and as you said earlier, to make a change for the better. We appreciate you being here today. Got a small gift for you.
Oh, I love these.
Thank you very much. I love these.
Any announcements from the club before we close today?
I've got one I've got to do since the fire chief's here.